If you haven't seen my previous video on how to shirt print and canvas print, then I would recommend you watch that first, because that shows you everything you need to download and all the setups you need, all the files, all the scripts, all the programs. It'll basically teach you how to print for your first time, everything you need to know. Assuming that you watched that already, let's get straight into this. You're probably wondering to yourself, I done my first print, now how do I do it again? Like, how do I consistently keep printing and printing and printing? Like, where do I start? That's based on a common question that's been asked whenever someone watches a guide, or whenever someone reads a guide. They're like, oh, how do I do this consistently again? So I'll basically be teaching you right now. But before that, we're going to do some prerequisites, which is basically setting up the printer in Recroom and tweaking some settings in Recroom and all that good stuff. Although I did show it in the main video, I'm going to show it again just so we can get it over with. It's not going to take that much time. Also, in case you are wondering, you're probably looking at this right now and seeing PNG, MP3, all that good stuff. Now, to show that extension, you'll basically want to click on View, Show, and then File Name, Extensions. You can also check on Hidden Items just in case you need that. So just click on both of these and you should be able to see the extension .mp3 just in case. It's not a necessity. It's just in case you're wondering when I call things .exe or .py and all that stuff. Just in case you're wondering. All right, now let's get into the setup. So here we are in Recroom. You're going to want to open up your watch, go into Settings, and click on Change Control Scheme. You'll want to change it to Classic and keep it on Classic because Classic is just the best. All right, so play on Classic. Learn the controls, all that good stuff. You're going to want to scroll down and you're going to want to go from head bob amount on max to off. You also want to make sure this is checked on. You'll then want to go on visual, and this is completely optional. You want to turn this to low just so Recroom doesn't take up that much resources, but you can keep it on high. It's up to you. You'll then want to scroll down and go into advanced VSync. Make sure that is off. Now go into notifications and you can just completely turn them off so you're not bothered during this whole process and during the printing, just in case it gets in the way somehow. Okay, so now that you have those settings, you'll want to clear your dorm room. Make sure you have a saved copy of your current dorm. If you don't know how to do that, just go into this room, save room, and just name it a dorm room or whatever you want to name it, just so you know to go back into your dorm once you're done printing, or if you want to keep the printing dorm however you want. So once you have that saved, you'll want to go on delete, go down to general settings, and then go down to delete everything. You want to press yes. There we go. We should have a blank dorm room. You'll then want to spawn in the shirt printer. Now keep in mind, everything is going to be spawned in through the store. So when I say spawn this in, you'll want to spawn it through the store page. So you have the option to spawn it in right there. So spawn and boom. Don't try to spawn things in through the McRen like this, or else I would just off center everything. Now that you have the shirt printer spawned in, you want to delete these things. You want to delete this, 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 and this. You should be kept with that. Okay, I should probably mention this right now. We are going to be using list create data. We're not going to be using variable import, because list create data is honestly so much better than variable import. We're also going to be using custom colors because they're honestly just way better than the base Recroom colors. And we are not going to be doing a two-part printing. We're not going to be showing that off. If you want to learn how to do that, then watch the main video. Now that you're done deleting that, you'll then want to go up here and select all of these colors right here. You'll then want to press on delete and just delete the highlighted area, and everything should be deleted. Now, if any markers drop down to the floor, delete those. If anything is left floating, then delete it. Make sure all of that is completely gone. I'm basically going to be showing the best optimal printing setup for shirt and canvases. You're going to want to spawn in 107 markers part 1 of 2, 107 markers part 2 of 2. Now here's where we're going to start splitting off. So if you're printing using canvases, you'll want to delete 5 of these markers, so you'll be left with 102. Or if you're not going to be using the canvas printer module, if you already have like your own canvas saved and optimally set up in the correct position, then you can delete only 4 markers, which leaves you with 103 markers. If you are using canvas printer module, delete 5 markers. If you're not using the canvas printer module and you have your own canvas ready, then you delete 4 markers. This is what I mean when I say delete 4 markers, not just the markers, but these 2 things right here with the markers as well. So 1, 2, 3, that's 1 set of markers. 1, 2, 3, 2 sets. 1, 2, 3, 3 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets. 1, 2, 3, 5 sets. Once again, delete only 4 sets if you have your own canvas. Delete 5 sets if you're using the printer canvas module. And just leave the markers completely alone. Do not delete any if you're using this to print shirts. Now that you have that ready, if you are using canvas canvases, you'll want to spawn in the canvas printer modules, or just the canvas on its own if you have it set up already. And you're pretty much just done. This is how it should look like. That should be replaced with your own canvas that you have positioned and saved as an invention, and that it has an anchor on. This should be it. If you have your list crate ready, you want to set that up right there. We're going to want to save this as our dorm room. We're going to press save room and then just call it canvas printer dorm or whatever you want to call it. So whenever you want to print again, you'll basically spawn in this fresh copy of your dorm, blank custom colors, blank canvas. Now let's go back to before we deleted the 5 and 4 markers so I can show you how the most optimal shirt printing setup for the shirts are. Right, so here we are again. We have our custom colors and we have basically all of this before we branched off to canvases. So I'm going to show you everything you need to spawn in for shirts. So you should have your custom colors. No custom colors need to be deleted for shirts at all. We're going to be deleting the start button of the dorm room printer. So there we go. It should just be left with that. And we're going to be spawning in the board visual v2. So spawn that through the store. Once you have that spawned in, you'll want to click on connect in your tools and you'll want to connect events receiver test event to run in the delay chip. You'll then want to spawn in a board placement seat v2. So spawn that in. And this is basically all you need for your shirt printer. Just the board visual and the seat and your custom colors, and wire that up. So you should just be able to save your dorm room. So go to save and just call it shirt printer dorm or whatever you want to call it. Once you want to print again, you can just load up the save of this completely blank shirt printer dorm and you should be able to wire up your list crate. Now let's talk about the shirt printer settings. So you'll basically just want to get front and back, keep it to true, variable import, keep it to false, main delay, you want to change it to 0.04. There you go. Those are the best settings right now, front and back, of course, because we're going to be printing on canvases and we're going to be printing on shirts. Now if you're just printing on the front of the shirts, you can put that on false. So just exchange it false on the front of the shirt, front and back for the front and back of the shirt, and for canvases. And the main delay 0.04 seems to be the best one so far. I'm not sure there's a better delay, but that seems to be the best one so far. Now image width and height, that's obviously going to vary on your image. If you're printing on shirts and you're going to be using the same image width and height for the shirt, then you can change it to 1331 by 1000, which is the one I personally use and the one that is apparently the best one to use, supposedly. I'm not sure there's a better one. Or if you're printing on canvases, 1024 by 1024 or 1429 for rectangle. Now that you have those printer settings ready, you probably should put these on specific, like if you're using the canvas, then put these settings on 1024 by 1024 as a square and save that as your room, and then 1024 by 1429 with rectangle and save that as another room. So like rectangle canvas dorm or square canvas dorm. And if you're going to be using the same thing for shirts, 1331 by 1000, front and back shirt dorm, and then front shirt for, okay, so the best one for front at 560 by 816. So just edit this to 560 816 and then save that as front printer dorm. So now that you have your dorms ready and saved for printing, we'll then just move on to the very first step on how to consistently print. All right, so first things first, obviously, is get your image. So you're going to want to either search the internet or take a photo or whatever you want to get, whatever image you're getting, just get it to your computer and ready to import to Photopea. Now, before we import to Photopea, we'll want to decide whether or not we want to use remove background. So we can remove the background of the current image you have, as you can see by the little example right there. Like in case you don't like the background color or in case you don't like the background of an image, you want to remove it and then choose a separate background color whenever we're putting it into Photopea. You need a background. Like you can't print transparent photos, okay? You need a background, but this is just if you're not liking the current background of your image. Now AI image upscaler, once you remove the background, if you decided to or not, you'll then want to go to Upscale Media by Pixel Bin and then upload your image there and then upscale it if you want, like if case your image is like low quality or you don't like the quality of your image, or if you just want the best quality out there, then you can put it into Upscale Media and then download the upscaled image. Now that you have your most optimal image that you want, you'll then want to go on Photopea and then open from computer. You should have your shirt template ready. All right, so there we go. We have our shirt template front and back, our square canvas, and our rectangle canvas here in Photopea. The way to get the rectangle and the square canvas, you want to click on File, New, and then just input the width and height right there, and then press Create. You should be able to create a new project of a blank rectangle canvas and a blank square canvas. So now that you have your image, you'll basically just want to drag and drop it here. I'm just going to use this logo real quick. I recommend you keep the background at the very top layer and then your image that you're importing at the very bottom. So like, let's say you had your logo on top, you'll basically see what's going to be getting cut out of your image. So everything in the black is not going to make it into your shirt. Everything that has the transparent gray and white squares is going to make it into the shirt. Same goes for the front and back of your shirt. All of this is fine. All this blank area is fine. The black areas are not fine. They'll basically not be added to the shirt. Now let's say you only want to print on the back of a shirt. How do you do that? You'll basically just want to keep the front of this template blank and then just put whatever you want on the right side, which is the back of the shirt. So just don't put anything on the front, put whatever you want on the back. All right, so now that you have your shirts and your stuff ready, your canvases, whatever you're going to print, you'll basically just want to go into File, you want to export as PNG, and then make sure that don't use palettes is checked on and click on Save. Now if you want the full information on basically how to do rectangle canvas into landscape ones, then you basically just want to watch the main video. I basically show you how to do that. So now that you have your image, I'm going to use this shirt as an example. So let's say this is the shirt that I want to print. All right, you'll basically want to move on to the color compiler. Let's open up color compiler version 5.1. Double click on that. You'll want to press C, enter, and then choose the image you're going to want to use custom colors on. You want to press on open. You want to click on 107 colors. Now this is going to be different from shirts to canvases. So if you're doing shirts, it's 107 colors. If you're doing canvases, it's 102 to 103 colors. 103 colors if you're just using the canvas and not the canvas printer module. 102 colors if you're using the canvas printer module. Enter amount of colors 107 because I'm using a shirt. You'll then want to click on 2. That's the best one for me, the one that I always pick. But you can basically play around with 0 and 1 and 2 to see what's the best for you. And there we go. You should have an RGB and a hex file ready to go. You'll then want to open up the RGB file. You'll then want to click on Control A or just manually highlight all the colors like this. You'll then want to click on Control C or just right click and copy. Now that you have that copied, you'll want to go into Recroom Share Printer main. You'll want to click on encoding, right click, open with Notepad. You'll then want to scroll down and you can see all of these colors right here. You'll want to select it from right here, okay? Not here, not all the way down here, right here where it ends. You'll then want to go all the way up and you want to end it right here, okay? Not more, not less. So just highlight all of this. Once you have all of that highlighted, you want to click Control V to paste in your custom colors. You'll then want to click on File and Save. You can now exit out of all of that. You'll then want to go into List Create Importing, press No, click on the image you're importing, the one you have the custom colors for, the exported file, all that. You'll want to click on N or Y if you want to dither it. It's up to you whether or not you want to dither. I personally don't dither at all. So for me, I'm going to choose N. Enter, and here we go. Here is the final image, which looks exactly like the image that I want to print. It doesn't have any weird dots or anything like that. There we go. You can exit out of that if you want. So you'll then just want to stay on this screen right here. So we're back in Rec Room. You want to open up your watch. You want to click on play. You want to search up list, create, importing. You want to click on these 4 squares right here or go into private mode. If you want to earn XP, you click on these 4 squares so you can join a public room. But if you're not going to earn XP, you can click on private mode. So you're going to want to choose a sub room. 1280 strings, 2560 strings, 3136 strings, and 4096 strings. Now we're going to go back into this window right here and we're going to check out our strings. I only have 192 strings, so I'm going to join the first room because it can hold up to 1280 strings. You don't want to go to 2560, 3136, or 4096 if you have a very low amount of strings. If you have over 1281 strings, you're going to want to join 2560 and so on and so forth. It really depends on how many strings you have. And also, the more strings you have, the longer it will take to import. So let's just go into our subroom. All right, so now that we're here, we're going to want to go straight forward and sit on the seat. We're going to grab the trigger handle with our right hand. We're going to hold 1 and we're going to scroll to the maker pen right here. We'll then want to open up the maker pen, click on edit and edit the list create data. We'll then want to click on connect, and once you get off that screen, it should center you to this purple rectangle right here. If it doesn't, then just manually center yourself the purple rectangle right there. It should be right there in the middle. Now that you're ready, you'll then want to press on Y and then enter, and it should start importing the strings. All right, so now that you're done importing, you want to let go of the trigger handle on your right hand, which will then shoot you all the way up to this platform. And then you want to jump out of the seat, drop your makeup and pick it up again. And then you're going to want to check for empty strings and then save the data. It did give me an error, but it's not going to give you an error. If you have a lot of strings that you imported, it's going to take a while for it to check for any empty strings. Of course, if you have less, it's not going to take that much time. It should tell you that you don't have any missing strings, but if you do, you'll basically just want to re-import. There is a way to manually import a missing string. If you want to learn how to do that, it's in my main video. So let's say you have no missing strings, you saved your data. You'll then want to go into your maker pen, make invention, and then click on the list create data. Just that, nothing else. Once you click on next, click on save, name your invention, whatever you want to name it, preferably the image you're importing. Click on next, take a picture of your list create or whatever you want to take a picture of. Just take a picture of something. Click on confirm, and it should save the invention. I obviously have max number of inventions, so it's not going to save for me. Once it's saved, you're good to go back to your dorm. Now that you're back at your dorm, you'll basically just want to go into your offline dorm. Now to do that, you'll want to disconnect your Wi-Fi from your computer for like at least 5 seconds and then reconnect it again. And it should boot you off of your dorm room and take you into an offline dorm. Now that's one method of getting into an offline dorm. I'm going to show you another method, which is basically the list create too big method. You basically just want to spawn in this list create as many times as you can, and it should eventually boot you off to your dorm. Now this isn't really a good method. It's not consistent. It's not guaranteed to boot you into your offline dorm. Now that's the second method. The third method is getting a friend or an alt account to boot you into your offline dorm. Now to do that, here I am on my alt account right here. I'm going to go into friends. I'm going to invite myself. So I got the invite right here. I'm going to press on go now, don't save, and I'm basically going to go back onto my alt account while my main account is joining, aka the account that I want to go into an offline dorm. You'll want to go into your watch menu and you'll want to click on evict all, and it should boot you to your offline dorm room. So there we go, kick to dorm room by host. You'll then want to go to friends, and as you can see, I'm online. My alt account is online, but I can't invite him. So that means you're in an offline dorm. That's just a safety precaution because 9 times out of 10, Recroom is gonna crash on you. It's gonna send you to an offline dorm, which is a bad thing. That means everything, all your data, all your print progress is going to be lost. This is basically going to prevent that. Now, it's not going to prevent Recroom crashing, like the whole game just shutting down, just dying. You can't really prevent that. Well, you kind of can. You just have to clear the cache of Recroom, but I'm not gonna show that right now because 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna crash. Or well, for me at least personally, I've done prints where I've had my computer stay on for weeks on ends, and it's just been constantly printing and it hasn't crashed. Like the Rec Room itself hasn't crashed. If you are experiencing that issue, you can search up how to clear Rec Room's cache yourself. So now that you're in an offline dorm, you'll then want to pull out your maker pen and then spawn in a list create data, the list create data that you're doing the print for. Once you spawn it in, you should connect run to load data, data loaded to load, list create data to image data input. And right here is where you should have your settings all ready to go. And of course, if you're using the shirt board, you'll basically just want to sit on the seat, make sure you're holding your maker pen on your left hand, go into your backpack, spawn in the shirt board. That's not the correct position that we want. Right, there we go. That's the best position that I could possibly get it at. So yeah, there we go. It's all positioned. Now you're going to want to import the custom colors. You'll want to drop your maker pen, sit on the seat, grab the trigger handle with your right hand, grab your maker pen with your left hand, aim at the marker right here, at the very first one in the center. You want to click on recolor and stay on this menu right here. You'll then want to go into your file explorer and go into color compiler 5.1. You want to enter I, press enter, and then select the hex file for the image you're printing. So here we go, hex.txt. You'll then want to input 0.1. Now you can use 0.2 or 3. 0.1 is the fastest, but that might not work for you. It works for me, but it might be too quick for you. So just try 0.2 or 0.3, or 0.1 is the absolute best for me. You then want to click on enter and then click enter again and then go back into Recroom and it should start importing the custom colors like so. So now that all the custom colors have been successfully imported, you are now finally ready to print. If you're printing using a shirt and you have the event test receiver, you want to go into your Maker Pen, click on circuits and debugging and then send a test event and it should start printing on the shirt board. Now here's a quick little tip for shirt boards only. You want to move this the circuit forward until the markers stop printing and stop making a sound. And then want to move it back and it should start printing again. That's basically to reduce pixel bleed. It might not fully reduce it, it's just going to reduce it a little bit, but it helps. You'll then want to send room reset event and then send it again after you've done the correct adjustments for this circuit right here. That's completely optional if you want to. So yeah, there we go. That's pretty much it. If you are using a canvas, you want to click on the start button and it should start printing. There it is. It's just that simple. So now that you're done printing again, you'll basically just repeat this entire process. Spawn in your fresh dorm room. So just go into this room, click on this arrow right here, and then spawn in whatever you're trying to print. So shirt printer dorm, canvas printer dorm, rectangle canvas printer dorm, front printer dorm, all that good stuff, whatever you want to name it. Spawn it in and then just spawn in the list crate, wire it up, get the shirt printer settings going, import your custom colors, and just start printing. There you go. Position the shirt board, obviously. It's just that simple. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is basically how you consistently print. Well, that's how I consistently print. Obviously, it's going to be quicker and quicker once you get used to it. Once you do it several times, it's going to go by quickly. It's just going to be done in like under 5 minutes. Of course, the importing and the custom colors importing process is not going to take that long. It's obviously going to take longer, but the whole process of, you know, getting your image, upscaling it, removing the background if you want, putting it into Photopea, aligning it, all that good stuff, and boom, it should be done quick and easy. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, once again, I strongly recommend you watch the main video, get used to that first, and then once you know what to do, watch this so you can consistently print. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you all next time.